Okay, hello. I think I'm live. It says I'm live twice and then it lies once or twice. I'm sorry there's been a bit of lag time between videos. I can see from the angle I'm looking that the video is going to be backwards again from when I used to upload these instead of using the YouTube stream. But for those of you who haven't watched my boot videos before, try not to get too confused when my hand is going the wrong direction from what I'm trying to point at. I did order these boots a while ago, and they took like a week longer to get here than I expected. Usually they ship from my same state, but this time they shipped from Michigan and then went to Kentucky or something, and then they like went past my house and then went back and finally got here. Okay, so sorry, meant to post this video literally like a week ago or at least this weekend. Didn't happen. But for those of you who are new to the game, this is the Thursday President boot. The more popular one is the Captain boot, but I'll be mentioning this boot. And I have previously done a video also about the Wolverine Boulevard boot, which I think was my first or second video. And see, these have not even been worn all that much for all this kind of dramatic. See, everything's backwards from where I want it to be. All this kind of dramatic effect. Just to show some features, this one has a cap toe, which is a cosmetic thing. This is usually not a real second layer of leather here. It has a lining, which you can see, kind of a glove lining, similar. And the Thursday has also this kind of lining, but a little bit thinner leather, a rubber outsole. Basically, these are both service boots. Maybe I'll try and I couldn't fit as much into the title as I really wanted to. That lighting doesn't really want to capture where I want it to go. It just turns all shiny. But speed hooks up here, you can see the three speed hooks and the eyelets. There's several of those. On the Boulevard, we have 2 speed hooks and 5 eyelets, I guess. Yeah. But basically the backstay is pretty similar. Thursday doesn't have the seam across there, but similar. This heel looks basically the same. This one has a little more of a mini lug pattern with the branded Wolverine on there. And this box is not from the 1,000-mile box. I just brought that one back in so it could be expressive, although you can't necessarily really see it. Okay, so without total ado, but the captain like has the cap toe. The president does not. So we're seeing that, and we're seeing kind of where the wrinkling is, where this is the Chrome XL leather, and this is the Goodyear welt, and normal break-in patterns and sizing and all that. We'll get into it. Okay, so the new box, very subdued, 1,000 miles. You can see that it looks like Star Wars. It says Michigan, USA. And then when we first look into it, I see there's a little title card. I tried to take a photo of this, but it kind of was blurry, so you can see it a little better there. And then on the back, it says Horween. I'll read this. One second. If I can, it's tiny. Okay, for more than 100 years, it has been Horween Leather Company's mission to make the finest leather in the world. All Horween leathers utilize components that are chosen strictly for their quality. The leather in this product was made by hand using formulas that date back to 1905 and offers supreme durability, comfort, and character that will improve with age. Okay. Oh, and here's the little Wolverine sticker on the box. So it matches the other one. Symmetry, almost. So I don't know if this is Horween leather. I don't know, but I don't know if it's the same type of leather as the 1,000 Miles. That's what I was saying. Thursday has Chrome XL leather that looks a lot like some of the other Chrome XLs, Grant Stone and whatnot. But this leather, I believe, comes from Mexico, not Horween, which is what did that say? So I say, I don't know. Did that say Michigan too, or is that? I thought Horween and Seidel were. It says highest quality leathers since 1905. I don't know if it's Michigan or Chicago. Somebody will know, and they'll give me grief for not reading the website first order. So instead of the bags, this time we have a bit of a cloth that doesn't want to cooperate with the placement of the camera, of course. Anyway, so you're seeing the box and you're seeing the cloth that was covering the boot, and it just says Wolverine 1,000 Miles and the city in Michigan again. And in between the two boots, we have a white card that we're just going to get out of the way. And boot number 1, we have this 1,000 Mile collection. What does that say? I can't read that. It's tiny. And the light is in my eyes when I try to. Okay, yeah, I really can't read what's stamped in that leather at all. But there's stamp up there. The backstay with the thing. The heel with the rubber cap. Now, this is not what I believe, this would not be a half sole. That would be a leather, or a rubber overlay on here as well, I believe. And then we've got the stitches through the leather. So it's not a total Goodyear welt or whatever, like all the way around, like that. The 360. This is the 270 or whatever. And we have no cap toe, big eyelets, and way less of them. Let me turn it around so you can see the eyelets and the speed hooks, rather. So you got 3 eyelets and 3 speed hooks. I guess if you get a bigger boot, you might get more than 3 because your foot might be a lot bigger. I eyeballed this. I'm not sure if it's going to be a wide enough boot for me. I mean, you can see on the Boulevard boot that they are longer, but a lot of that is wasted toe room. But basically the width is pretty close. I didn't have an issue with this one being incorrect, but there was only like 3 left of these and they were on sale or something. So I imagine this is a boot that might not fit as well as I would like. It's pretty lightweight. Might not fit as well as I would like in through here. But I'm going to probably just be toughing it out for the sake of boot videos more than worrying about having the perfect fit with this boot. Although this did cost almost twice as much as the Thursday boot, but I had a 20% off coupon. But then with the state sales tax, half of the coupon got eaten up. So I selected the free shipping option instead of the get it here sooner option. This one, on the other hand, these were on clearance for only $100. So that was, like I said, one of the first leather boots I kind of bought to start doing this. But definitely not the exact same model. How do I want to show these? Like that. Okay. And so I think if I grab the other one, I think the problem I'm having is I'm trying to show the right boot of both instead of the left boot of the Boulevard. So grab that. Okay. This video might run a little long and not be as informative as it could or something. This camera situation is really unpleasant because it makes it almost impossible for me to see what I'm doing. But so that's supposedly the same size of both shoes. But the one, like I said, has a lot more long pointy toe aspect to it. And maybe a little more width to it as well, because Yeah, I don't remember this one, or sorry, this one particularly pinching me in the vamp area. But then again, I only pretty much wore them like kind of once for Halloween. So we'll see how it goes. So we have the paper product. We have obviously laces that may or may not be worth a damn. I already kind of peeked inside, so we have no glove lining here. The leather might be a little thicker than the Thursday boot, but I wouldn't write home and insist that it's that much significant. There's a half sock liner. I don't know how far we can see down into the thing. Yeah, you can see where it ends. And so this is, I think, leather. Not a little bit of foam in it, maybe, not much. So I don't know how comfortable they're supposed to be, or supposed to be are, or how they're going to fit, or anything, because we're unboxing them together, more or less. Can see there's a kind of a back heel thing here. Now that's going to rub. Now I've shown other boots where you don't have that issue, so I don't know how much blisters that's going to cause, or for how long. So yeah, if that becomes a serious issue, I will definitely be making a video. You can see where the tongue is partially gusseted there, but it's pretty thin, and it's not the kind of boot where you can really put a kiltie in, like some of the more other extreme work boots. But we do have these rivets that will shred the tongue. These are very aggressive. This is basically what I consider crap. And even good boot companies, well, technically this is a good boot company, but even some of the more custom or MTO boots still use these, and I don't know why. If you're charging me more than $200 for a boot, and the $200 boot company has better eyelets than you do, okay, so point for Thursday boots for not using crap, okay? I'm not gonna pull any punches here. These speed hooks, I don't know if they're any good. Everybody who's seen my videos before knows I hate speed hooks, so eventually I might have them removed anyway. The main issue I have with a lot of boots, and it looks like these might be no different, is when this is too narrow and too tight. So you're trying to tighten them down here, and you're not being able to even lace them all the way to the top here. Don't know. We'll see. Why they don't cut them farther back to allow for that, I don't know. If I buy a wider width, it's even worse, because then this all stays too narrow in the lacing system to account for the extra. You'd think they'd be making them even more, I don't know, flared or less flared or whatever. But then if you have smaller ankles, you'd be, pulling them tighter, but you'd have more space to pull. Whereas I don't have necessarily that narrow of ankles, so I don't know. But we'll see. When I get around to doing a follow-up of half of these boots. Can't say, because you don't, always get to wear them as much as you'd like to be able to make these kind of comparison videos. And I wasn't planning to compare these as a one-to-one to a particular company. Anyway, here's the left one, so we can look at it closely. We see the stitching, kind of a bright white contrast stitching that doesn't really go with the laces. It's a lot more blatant than what's along here. So why they did this shoelace kind of looking broad, I don't know. Whatever. I wasn't too looking into the details too bigly intensely, I guess, when I ordered them, because like I said, they were on sale and I had a coupon, so I was like, okay, fine, I'll just get a pair and see if I like them better than some of the other reviewers like them or whatever. The leather, they had said this is a pretty thin outsole for a leather, and the leather will make your feet hotter and colder depending on your temperature and your weather. And this might wear out pretty quickly, but if it does, like I said, I could maybe, well, I didn't say, but I implied that I could maybe put a half sole rubber outlay on here if I decide I don't like the leather sole anyway. So there's that. There's a couple nails in the heels. You're not looking at a ton of traction here, you know, more bowling shoe than hiking boot. But like I said, that can be replaced with, you know, anything like this. If you feel this will have less flex to it in here, the leather is supposed to flex more and break in and be more comfortable more quickly. But again, I'm not feeling as much like cushiony foam as the Thursday boot as far as that goes. So how long they're actually comfortable before you're supposed to wear them in to make the leather comfortable and all that. You know, some say 3 months, some say 6 months. Some boots I imagine never become comfortable, but you get used to them, I guess. I don't know. I really don't know what to say. A little bit of crinkly here. Yeah, we're not having the exact same look of the leather. The color's slightly different, so I don't know if, like I said, if this is Chrome XL or not. I assume it's just different, slightly different shade. It looks like somebody tried this one on. I guarantee you it wasn't me. But you know, whatever. Not the end of the world. Yeah, the tongue has a bit of creasing and stuff there too, so I don't know. I don't know if somebody ordered these already and sent them back or not, but they look fine overall. And yeah, like I don't typically really care for the Chrome XL, that kind of shiny look to them. I guess a lot of people like to shine their boots, especially if it's a dressier boot, which, you know, to them a leather outsole means a dressier boot, but to me speed hooks automatically mean not a dressy boot. And contrast stitching means not a dressy boot. This, you know, is definitely to me a heritage boot, but not necessarily a dress heritage boot. Not a good, you know, modern work boot. You definitely don't want to be stomped around a concrete floor with this if it's slick or anything. And most job sites would probably say no, even if it doesn't, you know, need a steel toe or whatever. This does have some kind of toe cap in it. That was where I was trying to figure out if they're going to be wide enough or not to accommodate the toes. And it doesn't look like the width in the toes will be the issue, but like I said, I kind of worry about in here where they might pinch. We'll see. What was I saying? Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, I'm not a guy who like really shines up his boots or anything like that. They get scuffed. They whatever. We'll see how they look. You know, look in a few months. Or I definitely try and put them in the rotation while it's still literally in winter right now, and technically we'll have cool weather for hopefully, you know, enough more months for me to get a good feel for how they look and wear, you know, before June or whatever. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, that went on like way longer, like I said, than a lot of my unboxing videos. So hopefully some of you watched it through most of the thing. And if you have any questions and comments or questions, leave them in the comments, as I always say.